Every enterprise is generating more data than ever before. More pipelines, more sources, more schemas evolving in real time. But the question that keeps data teams up at night isn't about volume. It's about visibility. What changed in my metadata, and when? Which schemas have drifted since the last extraction run? Which columns disappeared overnight? Which tables quietly changed their structure while 3 downstream AI models kept consuming them as if nothing had shifted? Silent changes are the most dangerous kind. RightSight's Metadata Observability module was built to answer these questions, continuously, in real time, across every connection in your enterprise environment. The moment you select a connection, the platform gives you an immediate picture of your metadata health. 6 real-time KPI indicators surface across the top: total schemas, tables, views, and columns in scope, alongside 2 signals that matter most: active drift alerts and active monitoring alerts. These aren't static numbers pulled from a report. They're live, and each one is a door. Click drifts, and the platform takes you directly into every detected schema change across your environment. Click alerts, and you're immediately inside the issues that require attention right now. The dashboard doesn't just inform you, it routes you. But real metadata intelligence isn't just about the present state. It's about understanding what your metadata looked like before, and precisely when it changed. RightSight's calendar time travel capability lets you navigate to any historical point in your metadata history. Select any day, select any hour within that day. The platform reconstructs your entire metadata state as it existed at that exact timestamp, and every KPI, every tab, every view updates accordingly. You're not looking at a log. You're looking at a live snapshot of the past. For incident response, this changes everything. When a pipeline breaks and the question becomes, what changed? And when you don't search through system logs or query version tables. You travel back to the moment before the change and see it directly. When you need to verify whether an upstream schema modification caused a downstream quality failure, you can isolate the exact timestamp, confirm the change, and trace its impact. Turn on the changes only filter in the calendar, and the noise disappears. You see only the days where something actually changed, which means your investigation goes from hours to minutes. Once you've identified the moments that matter, RightSight's Drifts tab gives you the full picture of schema evolution. Column type changes, new columns added, columns removed, key changes, row count deviations. Every category of structural change is detected, classified, and surfaced, with the ability to sort and filter by object, change type, and downstream impact. Schema drift isn't a rare event in enterprise environments. It's constant. The difference between organizations that manage it and organizations that are managed by it is observability. The difference between organizations that manage it and organizations that are managed by it is observability. When investigation requires more than a point-in-time view, the Compare tab gives you something more powerful: a side-by-side diff of 2 metadata snapshots. Select any 2 historical states. The platform renders the changes between them, not as a changelog, but as a structured comparison that makes the difference immediately clear. Expected versus actual, before deployment versus after, last week versus this morning. For teams managing metadata quality across release cycles, schema migrations, or governance reviews, this is the kind of clarity that removes ambiguity from the conversation entirely. And because metadata health isn't something you monitor only when something breaks, RightSight builds automated reporting directly into the observability workflow. Generate weekly health summaries, generate monthly evolution reports, export them as HTML or CSV for stakeholder distribution. Better yet, subscribe, configure recipients, set the frequency, choose the format, and let the platform deliver a structured metadata health report automatically, on your schedule. Observability that runs continuously, reports that distribute themselves. Your data teams stop answering questions about what changed, and start spending their time on what to do about it. Metadata observability is the foundation of everything that follows. Because before you can govern your data, before you can trust your AI systems, before you can enforce quality at scale, you need to know your metadata, at every level, at every point in time. RightSight gives you that foundation. The Reusable Rule Repository is where your organization builds a single, authoritative library of data quality standards, rules defined once, deployed everywhere. Not null checks, range validations, uniqueness constraints, SQL expressions tied to your specific business context. Each rule linked to a business term, classified by quality dimension, and tracked wherever it's deployed across your environment. Update a rule once, it propagates across every connection it governs. RightSight AI agents work in parallel, each approaching rule generation from a different angle. The RRR agent starts with your organization's existing rule library. It reads the standards you've already curated in the Reusable Rule Repository and applies them, intelligently, to each new connection profile. Your governance standards don't live in one place and get copied manually. They deploy themselves. The AI recommendation agent starts from scratch, from the raw metadata itself. It analyzes table structures, column types, and data patterns, then generates rules your team hasn't written yet. Not generic rules, rules shaped by the actual structure of your data. Together, these agents ensure comprehensive coverage, the standards you've defined, and the coverage you didn't know you were missing. The configuration layer gives your team full control over how each agent operates. Define which schemas and tables fall within scope. Select which quality dimensions to target: completeness, accuracy, uniqueness, validity, timeliness, consistency. Set sensitivity thresholds. Choose rule generation mode, and decide whether the agent runs manually or activates automatically whenever metadata changes are detected. That last capability is significant. When your data environment changes, when a new table appears, when a schema is modified, the agent doesn't wait to be told. It responds. It generates updated rules, queues them for review, and keeps your quality coverage current without requiring manual intervention. Once executed, the agent provides full transparency into its reasoning. A real-time log stream shows every stage of the analysis: what was examined, what rules were generated, what was flagged. Every rule the agent generates goes to review and confirm before it becomes active. Your team retains final judgment. The agent does the heavy lifting. Your engineers do the quality review. From weeks of manual rule authoring to minutes of AI-assisted generation. Metadata is understood, governance rules are defined, AI agents are keeping quality coverage current. Now the enterprise needs to see all of it, clearly, at every level of the organization. The ADQ Dashboard is RightSight's single pane of glass for data quality across your entire enterprise. It aggregates quality scores from every connection, across every rule, across every domain, and surfaces that intelligence through 3 distinct lenses, each designed for a different audience. An overall data quality score for the enterprise. Dimension level health: how completeness, accuracy, uniqueness, validity, timeliness, and consistency are each performing. A trend view showing how rule pass rates are moving over time. And a prioritized list of the highest risk quality issues currently active. For a Chief Data Officer or VP of Data, this view answers the question that matters at the leadership level: is our data trustworthy right now, and are we moving in the right direction? When something in the risk alerts demands attention, a single click routes directly to the specific DQ result, and the executive can hand that context to the right team immediately. The domain assurance lens serves a different need: the need to understand quality not by connection, but by business domain. Domain owners and data stewards see a card for each business area, showing the aggregate quality score for everything within their domain. Click into any domain and the view resolves to the individual business terms within it, each with its own quality score, its own rule coverage, its own health status. This is quality accountability at the domain level. Not, the database scored 87%, but customer identity data scored 94%, while transaction reference data is at 71% and declining. That kind of specificity drives action. Ownership becomes clear. Remediation becomes directed. A rule browser surfaces every active quality rule across selected connections, searchable, filterable, sortable by dimension, severity, and pass rate. When a rule is failing, One click opens the record level drawer, the actual rows, the actual values, the specific records that are failing the check. Column level highlighting shows exactly which field is the source of the problem. Failed records can be exported directly for downstream remediation workflows. This is quality work at the resolution it actually requires, not aggregate scores, but specific rows. Not trend lines, but the exact records that are breaking your standards. Subscribe to Right Data for more insights, feature updates, and data observability best practices delivered straight to your feed.